Let's see how to create the communication between different VLAN. For this particular scenario, we took three VLAN. The first one, which is on the left hand side, that what we call is as a VLAN 100 for the marketing team. On the right hand side, you will be able to see a VLAN 200 for the IT team, and at the bottom you will be able to see another VLAN called VLAN 500 for the database. In this particular architecture, we have to add up a router as well. This particular router, we call it as a router on the stick, and through this we'll be able to communicate or provide the communication between the three different VLAN. So currently, if you are able to see that if I'll try to ping from my current desktop, say if I'll say ping 20.0.0.2, that is the IP address on this particular device, which is on the other end in the IT team. It will be gonna give me a RTO for all the ping outputs. So in order to create the communication between all of them, let's go back to our switch and start creating the VLAN and assigning the ports to the different VLAN as per our configuration. VLAN 100 for marketing team. I'll say marketing team. Now we do have VLAN 200 for IT team, and we do have a VLAN 500 for the database. Let's see whether these VLAN are replicating or not in our current configuration. So in order to do that, the command is show VLAN. And over here, you will be able to see that the three VLAN has been created in our switch module, but there is no port tagged yet. So first of all, we have to tag the ports as per the configuration. So let's go and tag these ports. So the first one is required access for VLAN 100. Next one is also the same. Similarly, let's go to port 3 now. All the ports should be in the VLAN switch port mode access, and this particular one is in VLAN 200. In order to get the previous command, you just need to click on the up arrow key. It will gonna automatically repopulate the previous command that what you have entered, so you doesn't need to type it again and again. So we have moved all the ports into the correct VLAN, and let's go back and see our configuration whether it's reflecting or not. Show run, show VLAN. So let's go back and see that whether these VLAN are reflecting or not in our configuration. The command for that one is show VLAN, and now you are able to see that the port is also being tagged to the correct VLAN team. Now go back and check whether we are still able to ping or not. So if we click here, it will still not ping the other devices because we haven't set up any configuration at the router end. On the other hand, if you are able to see that I'm able to ping within my VLAN, if I say 10.0.4, I will be able to ping that because they are within the same VLAN range. Now let's go back to our router now. So there are two ways of doing it. The first one is I can create three different connections from my switch to the router and then enable that configuration, but that is not the logical way of doing it because at the router end we do have a very limited ports. So in order to avoid this cabling issue, we usually go with the logical port creation. Connectivity, and let's start doing the configuration on the router end. So the first thing is let's go to the interface gigabit 0/0/0, make it as no shutdown because we will be performing configuration within this particular port number. And now go back and go to interface gigabit 0/0/0.1. That is the first virtual interface we will be creating. After that, we have to just run a command called encapsulation dot 1Q and followed by the VLAN number. So first we are doing for the VLAN 100, and now we have to define the gateway for that particular VLAN. Now we'll say IP address 10.0.0.1 followed by the subnet. We use a class A IP address here, and in the end we have to type a command no shutdown just to make sure that this particular port is up and running again. Now let's go to the next port, interface gigabit 0/0/0/0/0.2. The same command you need to run here. Now we will be creating for VLAN 200. Similarly, the IP address will gonna change to 10 to 20 because that's the gateway we will be creating here. And after that, this command called no shutdown. Now let's go to third one, interface gigabit 0/0/0.3, and we will be saying encapsulation 500. That's the VLAN name we have it, and along with that we have to put the default gateway IP address, that is 30.1 here, and again no shutdown. And let's see whether we are able to see the configuration or not. Currently, if we go back, you will be able to see that all the three sub interfaces or the virtual interfaces has been configured, although the first interface, which is 0/0/0, there is no IP address, but we have configured on top of it. Now one more thing, show IP route. And if you run this command show IP route, it will gonna show you the current configuration and the gateway for all the VLAN that what we have created so far. Now let's go back and see whether we are able to ping or not from point A to the point B now. So let's ping 20.0.0.2 and see whether we are able to ping or not. The usual issue that what we see if it's not working is we forgot to make the port as a trunk port, because whenever they are communicating from point A to the point B, they should be in the trunk mode. And let's see on which particular port we have configured this. It's on gigabit port. It should be on the gigabit, not on fast Ethernet. So let's connect back the cable from here to here. What we have to do, we have to connect the cable from the gigabit port to the gigabit port. And once you do that, you have to make sure that your port is in the up state. So let's go back to configuration, connect interface, gigabit 0/1, and we will say no shutdown, and we have to put it as a switch port mode trunk. And I hope you have connected at 0/1. Yes. Just show run, and let's see whether we are able to see the port has been configured or not. So it's configured for us now. Now go back and see whether we are able to perform the ping result from 10.3 from here to the other device which is on the other end. It usually takes some time because of the address resolution protocol in between, and once they are able to resolve the IP address, they will be able to get the output in the ping result. If you want to simulate it, there is an option at the bottom. You will gonna click here, and it will gonna show you that how these packets are going and traveling from the router end or to the switch end, and if there is any issue, it will gonna show you at the same time.